You can find your first homework, which is I posted on the first day of class, Tuesday, August 25th, and it is in the bottom. Um, and the homework is to observe and reflect on a public meeting or hearing. And this is not due until December 1st, and it's worth 5 of the 100 points for the whole class. So this is the document. The learning objectives are just that, to observe and reflect on a public meeting and on hearing. And you will analyze 3 community engagement processes. So one of them is going to be to go to Salt Lake City public meeting for the planning division or for an advisory group or for city council. It can be another city as well, but the important thing is that it is a governmental agency which is putting together the meeting. Then, or second, you will attend a community meeting that is put together by a neighborhood association or a community group. And 3, you will just look at some meetings online that are titled as very bad meetings, just to compare and contrast and look and just reflect on how that looks. So you will do this because this is like how usually planners receive public input in a public meeting or a public hearing. It's important for you to note that public hearing is by definition a public meeting, but not all public meetings are public hearings, meaning that in some public meetings you will have the board or staff discussing an issue, but the public is not invited to talk because it's more like a working session, or it's more like an educational piece for the board itself, and therefore there's no comments from the public. So again, all public hearings are public meetings, but not all public meetings are public hearings. And there are items that are not open for public input, but this is always noted in the agenda of the meeting. So you can look, for example, here in the Salt Lake City Planning Commission, there's a agenda item that is titled 21 Design Review, which is like this one here at the bottom, and it says like work session only. So this means that there will not be any public input. In the other ones, as you can see, there is public input. Even in this one where it says like unfinished business, which means that there was a conversation, but then there was more information needed. There was one where the board actually requested for the staff to figure out additional information, and then they could actually make a decision. So in all of this, that doesn't say a work session. It means that the there will be like a public hearing. And if you were going to a community meeting, there's a Q&A session usually, and that means that will be the space for the public to actually make comments. But as you will see, when the public make comments in a formal government meeting, usually there will be like a specific time frame that they could express their or give their public input, which is usually 2 minutes that they're allowed to speak in, but it might change from board to board. So make sure that for this exercise, when you're looking at the attending a governmental meeting, it is actually also a public hearing, and there will be some public input because as part of the exercise. So one of the first things that you do is, or you will do, is to read the Salt Lake City Planning Division Public Input Process Policy to understand what is like actually required from planners. And if you live in another city, I really encourage you to go to find those guidelines so you know what is required. But basically, you as a staff planner are going to put together an application for um, a developer, or maybe it's a homeowner that wants to make a change in their home and it needs approval, or maybe the staff of the city is putting together a master plan that needs to be um, approved. So there's like different kinds of requests. For example, a zoning map amendment, conditional use, plan development, early vacation master plan, or master plan amendment. So after you put together as a staff planner that application, you will within 4 days you will actually like send a notice to community organization chairs. So those are the community councils that you have to attend, asking them to see if they can review um, this like request. And of course, like the community organization will be the one that is specific for that district. Um, because if it's a master plan, then it will be, you have to notify all community councils in the city. But if it's an early vacation, then you only need to notify the specific community council where that alley is located. So you should include as much information as possible to that like community organization, community council, but also other interested parties. So it might be like business groups, and you can send this information via email. Yeah, sometimes you might have to like to mail. So you will have to look at the specific guidelines for what you're doing. The important thing is that if it's like by email, you will keep copies of all the things that you're sending as a inside of the case file, and this also becomes part of the public record. And if they reply to you, this also becomes part of the public record. And you, when you look at the staff reports, um, that you will see as part of this assignment, you will see that some of them might have like these different kinds of like correspondence. So after you have again assembled your package and show it to interested parties like within 4 days of finishing your package, then they have 45 days for providing comment to you. And this will be done by email or by um, mail. And after 45 days, you actually will schedule a public hearing. And again, anything that you receive during this period of time, letters or emails, you will attach as part of the staff report that will be public in the website that people can look at probably like a week before the public hearing. But again, after the 45 days is where you um, schedule that public hearing. And you are expected to attend these like community organizations that might have like interested, especially the community council, if just so you're able to answer questions about zoning ordinances and the planning process or plan policies. So in the class, actually, the public lands division is required to go to the site community councils and talk about the master plan, and also request that people fill out a survey and give them like additional information. And you will see that in the guidelines for this homework. It is important to understand that that you're not there to advocate or speak for the applicant. If, for example, you're doing this for talking about development or a subdivision, so you just should be very unbiased in this like presentation on where you're answering questions. Um, the the thing that you have to remember is that again you're representative of the city, so you're not there representing yourself or talking about your opinions. Maybe people in the neighborhood are opposed to an affordable housing project, or maybe it's a market rate housing because they feel that there might be gentrification in the neighborhood. So you cannot say I'm in favor, not in favor, right? You have to be impartial and just like show the facts of the developments and answer questions as best as you can. When you attend these meetings, you should take notes on the issues that are raised and what is the general sentiment of the community council towards the project, because in many of these community councils, actually most, they do not vote. So it's not like they can say I like this project or I don't like this project, and it's as clear as a vote. But you can just gather what are the general ideas that people have, and any issues that you might anticipate for the public hearing, so you can better address that um, once you are asked questions in the public hearing. And of course, if the public has questions in these community council meetings, you will um, be answering their questions as well. But what you should know is that a lot of people, a lot of community councils do not submit any letters back or emails. um, so that's why you need to go to the meeting just to seek information from the community council. um, there are some community councils that always submit, so it really depends who is the chair. It really depends how interested they are on planning issues and how well they understand also planning issues, um, how much time they have to engage in these. So it really depends on the chair or the community council composition. So again, you will receive comments from some and not others. Um, so it's important that you that where a regular scheduled recognized community council meeting will not be held within the 45 day time, or other meeting as per recognized community organization. So the project planner will request a meeting with the executive board to obtain input. This typically occurs in the months of July, August, and December. So it's like just saying that there will have to be enough time. Um, so the where a project is within 600 feet of the boundaries of another recognized community organization district, um, so it's important that they will be um, that the planner will schedule the uh, item for the upcoming monthly open house. So and this is another way in where the planner can obtain feedback. It's like not only going to the community council but also having an open house. Um, and there's the open houses are scheduled at particular times in City Hall. When you um, look at the website, you'll see the, or in the website of the planning division of Salt Lake City, you will see the different open houses that are taking place. Um, so when an open house is to be held, the project planner will send information to applicable recognized community organization chairs and business groups with information about the project so they can inform their members of the open house. The open house notice should also be sent to the individuals on the mailing list for the project in case of a matter affecting a geographic area such as rezoning or affected property owners may attend and also um, comment. Next, for text amendments, the project planner should strive to compile and notify a list of individuals or groups who might be interested, affected by the proposed regulations. So to go to the point before of the 600 feet, it's like not only like community councils that are nearby with 600 feet, but also within a particular distance, you have to notify people that are close to a project, and this is like the 600 feet. So just like neighbors that are within 600 feet, if somebody's building um, just any building or apartment, they should be notified. Uh, so if the issue is like highly controversial, um, the idea is like you will use not only the open house, right, or the going to a community council meeting, but you will um, do like a engagement in open city hall, and you can actually like Google that in the city. There's our surveys there. There's like comments that you can provide. Um, so this is like a way of providing even more opportunity for people to comment on their own time, right? Because people can go in the website and submit the comments that they want. They can submit letters and so on. Once information has been presented to a recognized community organization, neither the applicant nor the planner is obligated to return to the group. So again, for this community council meeting, you will go once. You will not do like two open houses, right? So you will do one open house and so on. If the applicant agrees to return to the recognized community organizations, the planner will notify the recognized community organizations chair that we will begin working towards scheduling the public hearing. Where applicable, the project should be scheduled with the applicable city advisory um, boards, and there's a list of them underneath. So just depending on the issue, um, this might go to the Historic Landmark Commission, the Transportation Advisory Board, Business Advisory Board, Public Lands Advisory Board, Public Utilities Advisory Board, the Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board, Airport Authority, or HAAB. Um, and these ones are, of course, different from um, the public commission. And then there's more details here on the open houses. We will not be looking at those, but so you know, they're held for citywide zoning text amendments and policy documents such as community plans, small area plans, and historic preservation plans. Current planning projects that are within 600 feet or of two or more recognized community organizations boundaries. Um, so again, if it's say within 600 feet, very close to two community councils, instead of going to the community councils, you could do this like open house. It's always recommendable that you will go to two community councils plus half the open house. And there are projects located west of 200, 2200 west. The open houses are held the third Thursday of the month, so there's like a day pre-date that has been scheduled for these open houses, and they're usually held on the first floor in room 126 of City Hall, which of course you cannot go right now, but at some other point when it's safe, you can go. But they might be also held offsite, like in the library, which is pretty close to City Hall, scheduled from 4 to 6. And on rare occasions, they might be held in other days and other locations. The applicable secretary is responsible to ensure the agendas are sent to the listserv and are posted on the website. Although there's no legal notification requirement, the agenda and list serve notices should be sent and posted at least 2 weeks prior to the meeting, and documents related to the open house agenda items should also be posted to the website prior to the meeting where appropriate. And those are the guidelines for Salt Lake City Planning Division public input process. So let's go back to the actual homework. So that's just like for a little bit of background. So you must attend one agenda item at a public meeting hearing hosted by the Salt Lake City Planning Department. Again, it could be City Council or another advisory group, like the one that we said for the Housing Trust Fund, the Transportation Advisory Group, whatever you would like. As an example, there will be a Planning Commission meeting coming up on the 26th, August 26th, and you can see there are like 5 agenda items. Let's just like look at that. So you could find here any of the meetings that you would like to go. There's, as I was talking about, open houses, but we are just looking at the Planning Commission. As you can see, there's like a YouTube meetings, and there's also the channel. There's like instructions of how to join the virtual meeting, and if you have comments, you can submit them here for any specific item that it is a public hearing. There's some like rules of procedure of like how the meeting goes, so you can look at that. But what is important in terms of the example I was providing is like here you see the agendas, and the next agenda is like on August 26th. So this is like on Wednesday, and here are the older meetings. But this one is like the most recent that will be upcoming, and they're posted usually within a week, but sometimes it's even less time. But here you see that this is an agenda item, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agenda items. So this whole meeting could be 3 to 4 hours. So I will not ask you to sit through this whole meeting. I just want you to go to one agenda item. So you can choose any of these, but if the meeting, I think it starts at 5:30, and we can look at the agenda actually here, but you can just go to one. There's like information here that when the planning commission begins, it's at 5:30. This is the first agenda item would be to approve like the meeting minutes from the previous meeting, which was August 12. So as you can see, this meeting is happening every 2 weeks, and there's like report from the chair and vice chair, and report from the director, which usually they don't have like any special reports. But then we go to public hearings, and it's like labeled in big letters. It's a public hearing. If there were not public hearings, but there would be like working sessions, it would be highlighted here. But as you can see, all of these are actually public hearings, and there were like two items that were scratched from the agenda. But here you will choose to attend any of these, and you see what is the item. So this one is like Rosewood Park alley and street vacation. So it says like um, who is requesting this. Olga Crumb of the Real Estate Services Department of Salt Lake City is requesting alley and street vacations within Rose Park in order to consolidate the property to simply the permitting process for future improvement projects. So this is like the city itself asking. Here, as you can see, it's different. It's like Maximilian Correth, property owner, is requesting to vacate a small triangular portion of the alley abutting from the west side of the property at the above said address. So this is a property owner, so it's an individual doing this request. It usually gives you like a little background here. So if you go to Olga, it says like these streets and alleys are platted as part of the Kinney and Gurley's improved subdivision, recorded in 1887, but they were never constructed. These requests were brought before the Planning Commission on January 22nd, 2020, seeking a recommendation for street closure and alley vacation. Um, and the request for a street closure has been amended and it's now a request for a street vacation. It says a little bit about this property zone OS in open space, and it's located within City Council District 1. It always says, who is the representative here. And it has just more information about the cases. This one might be like a very good one to attend, as like it's about public open space, and just again requesting that this alley is vacated or consolidated with a property. So you can see what is interesting to you. But again, there's many meetings that you can attend or many agenda items to look at. If you go here, you will find the staff report, and there's more details about this. So when you are a staff planner, you will actually write these reports that look very much like a memorandum, and you can find like who is the responsible planner, um, and what is the numbers of the request, to whom is director. You should have like a background, some kind of discussion, and the recommendation, which is like what the commission is gonna vote on. And later on you will see like how there's like a motion that basically someone in the commission will volunteer to read, and there's some attachments there in reference to the minutes of this like meeting. So that's a memorandum like of front of a staff report, and here's like where you see like more details about the property, what is the request. The recommendation is like again the what the commission will be accepting, some attachments, usually some maps, what is important to consider in this case, and so on. We are not actually going to like read all these, but it's just to get you to look at it so you can attend to any of these meetings. As I was mentioning, there's like a motion sheet of like what are they doing to approve. Usually it's to approve, to recommend, that that is recommend approval, and then somebody will read these, and then the commission will say yes, that sounds good. Everybody say yay, and it is approved to do street vacation and alley vacation of this property. So again, you can find any meeting that you would like to attend. Just revise those documents and just choose one item, as I said, because the whole meeting could be 3 or 4 hours. There's information instructions of how to join the meeting there. Um, and just to go back to the idea of like just one item, usually people that are affected by that alley closure or street closure, like the property owners that are nearby, um, or the property owner that is making the request, they're the ones who attend this public hearing, and neighbors maybe. So it will be just very few people attending this, just the people who are concerned about this particular issue. Again, you can find these different meetings in the same website. The other thing is that you could choose meetings in other cities, because I understand that many of you might not live in Salt Lake City. You might live in other cities here in Utah, so you can find a meeting that is like pertinent to your neighborhood, or to a city that or the city that you live. You can also attend public hearings in the States, and there's this website in where you can find all the public notices. So you can find meetings by for school districts, for the university or universities, I should say, different cities, county meetings, state. You can see here just um, different kinds of the board meetings. As long as it's like something done by a governmental agency or an advisory group, you can choose any of these. Um, and the other thing that you can do is like sign up to receive notices of any um, thing that you might be interested in. So if you're interested in issues of homelessness, obviously, for example, search public body, you can find here something related to homelessness or to transportation or whatever you want, and you can receive like notices from them, so from when they are meeting. And of course, if you are like a planner, you will also like post things, so people know what's going on, or you receive notices, so you can also attend to some meetings. um, the other thing that you need to do is actually like attend one community council meeting, and these are again at the neighborhood levels, and there's the different dates where they meet. Um, so here are the full list of like different community council organizations. As you can see, uh, the community councils, this is like Jordan Meadows and West Point, Rose Park, Capitol Hill. So these are the different ones. You can also see here the city councils. So in District 1, James Rogers is responsible for Community Council West Point and also Jordan Meadows. And District 2 is Andrew Johnson, responsible for Poplar Grove and Glendale. By the way, for that first meeting, you can actually attend the City Council meetings, as it's like government. So you can find out which one is your community council there, and maybe attend those. Here's like a full list of all the registered community councils, and when they meet. So here it says like ballpark, who's the name of the person, email, phone, and they meet like the first Thursday of the month at 7. And for more information, you can just go to their Facebook page. Some of them have websites. This is has like just different boundaries, and the city council districts that are located within there, and the assigned fire station. Usually, the fire department actually goes to these meetings as well as the police department to give like reports every month. And also the city council representative or the city council member themselves, like Amy Hawkins, and if not, is a representative. So the homework is to actually like attend one of these meetings, and it's not easy like in the other one with the government that you have like when the meeting online will happen, because these ones are organized by just the community members. So this one, just by looking at this, I don't see when is the maybe the next time that they are um, going to meet. So you will have to find out when that is by emailing Amy, for instance. But I actually like uh, talked to the public lands division, and they listed some of the dates that they already confirmed for different community councils, like Fair Park Community Council, East Liberty. So these are the dates that they have confirmed. And just by looking at that, I actually just look at the or Google like Fair Park Community Council, and I found the website for the Fair Park Community Council. And then so it has that the next meeting is actually like the August meeting is going to be on August 27, and it has like the Zoom meeting here with the password down here, so you can join that meeting. But it will be your homework to actually like try to find out which one you want to attend and when is the meeting. And as I said, you can always contact the chairperson, as you have until December 1st to complete this um, homework. You should feel free to join any community meeting if you live in another city. The important thing is that it's put together by a community group, um, and that they are like part of like a neighborhood council or just again a community group that is not a governmental agency putting the meeting together. Um, the last parts of or the last meeting that you will be attending is actually not a meeting at all. So there's only those two meetings, government and community council. But the next is like to go to this web, it's a YouTube page or YouTube compilation, I should say, or um, watch list of like that is called the great footage of bad public meetings, and it's just like angry people or just like people that are behaving oddly, and the council is like struggling with them, um, and that's something that you are it's not likely that you will see. It's not it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So I want you to also experience a little bit of that by watching at least 3 of these videos, and they're very very short. So some of them are like 40 seconds, and other ones are like 5 minutes. So just watch 3 and then just like reflect on those. So what you need to do as a the product, you will write a memo that is like directed to me. So just imagine that I guess I'm the planning director here. It should be a memo of about 1,000 to 1,500 words. It should look like or have the memo format, so it's like to, from, um, the date, and then what is the topic. You should take notes in this meeting. So, what are the issues raised and the general sentiment of the community towards the project? That's what the public participation input guidelines of the Salt Lake City said, that you should do every time that you go to any of these meetings. You should briefly summarize each meeting using descriptive language, so presenting the facts that were presented, describe who, what, where, why, how, etc. In other words, what is the purpose of the meeting, what was discussed, what activities occurred, how did it occur, who said what, who was there, what was decided, how were decisions made, how many people attended, and so on. Um, then you're going to compare and contrast the meeting. So, what is the level of formality or informality? I will assume that formality is more for the city council or like planning commission, advisory groups, and it would be more informal in the community and neighborhood organizations. Um, you will talk about, the different audiences that are there, what are the issues that they're talking about, how they differ, maybe something about, yeah, level of participation, or how participation is taking place. And finally, if you could make one change, so this is just a comment for you to make to one of the meetings, or to, you know, two of them, whatever it is. How would you increase like empowerment and effectiveness, and what would you do, and why? And attach some handouts to your memo, such as like notes that you took during the meeting. Um, it could be like from your notebook or from just that you type in a Word doc. Include the agenda, so you can put that as a PDF or an attachment, to show which one were you attending. Any Zoom screenshot images, of you going to the meeting, any kind of evidence at all. And that's it for the homework. Again, it's like due on December 1st, and I'm sure that you will have questions, so feel free to let me know which questions you have.